Coach, first and foremost, what is the status of VK Binns? I see he's not participating.
He's probably going to be down, this week, and so we'll see unless it's a miracle. But he hurt his elbow. He's going to see, the doctor after practice, and right now probably, doubtful.
How big of a loss is that? I mean, he's one of your most veteran offensive linemen, a real glue guy, I would imagine, on that unit.
It's a big loss. He's, our most veteran guy up there. He's a really good football player. That's football, unfortunately. People get hurt, and the next guy has to step up.
Adam West would probably be that guy. I thought Coach Ingram told me after the game Saturday he thought West played pretty well in the time that he was in there.
Yeah, Adam played well. Adam's a physical kid, about 295, 300 pounds. Explosive kid. He just hasn't played much, but he's got all the physical tools. You got Evan Martin, another kid, in the 290 range.
Big boy, yeah.
So we got some guys, they'll go with Tambo. Tambo's still on the other side. Tambo's had 2 good games to start the season, so we might move Mo into guard. So Mo's a guy that's 300 plus. So we feel good about those guys. They just haven't played, but obviously you'd like EK out there.
So Keenan Reynolds was Offensive Player of the Week for the conference, but he can't be Offensive Player of the Game for Navy. How is that?
We got different standards in the conference.
Okay. If Joey Gaston apparently must play darn well if he got that honor.
Yeah, he had 16 knockdowns, but we don't base our stuff off media stuff. We base it off what we do.
What you're looking at, right. UConn, their defense is obviously very outstanding. What are you seeing with their defense? What makes them so good?
Coach Diaco. He's a good defensive coach. He's a good coach in general, head coach. We've known him for many years. Played against him many times. He was at Notre Dame. He's a really good football coach. I've gotten to know him through conference meetings. Really good guy, real smart, passionate guy. So there's no doubt in my mind it's him. The defense has his fingerprints all over it.
Right. And obviously he has quite an experience against the option. He played you 4 times when he was at Notre Dame. They just played Army, and they played pretty well against Army. Would you expect him to line up the way he's lined up against you in the past?
Probably. It's who they are. But the thing they're doing, too, is they're taking care of the ball. A big thing they did against Army is they possessed the ball.
Yeah, they dominated possession, didn't they?
Where most people are trying to go up-tempo and trying to get plays, UConn's, running the football, taking care of the ball. Possessions are come at a premium. it's similar to us. Mm-hmm. So the game's probably going to be a short game, and you got to maximize all your possessions.
And can you talk about going on the road for the first time, because you never know with the new team how they'll react in a road hostile environment? Is that something you're eager to see how they handle it?
Yeah, definitely eager to see. Because there's a lot of guys that haven't played before. They're the first-year starters this year, first time on the road as a starter. I've liked what I've seen so far, but like you said, those are 2 home games with our fans. UConn's playing really well. I'm sure they'll have a lot of fan support because, Coach Diaco and their program are doing a lot of good things. We got to get ready, for a good team that's playing well. Could very well be 3-0 right now. And I'm sure they'll have a ton of fans there.
We were joking with Chris after the game about not being able to score and falling down at the 2 and 1 yard line so Keenan gets a touchdown. But something that I think should be noted is that a lot of those touchdowns Keenan scores is because the fullback is the lead blocker and does a heck of a job of clearing a path. Is that true?
Yeah, the fullback does a great job of blocking. Those guys, a lot of times down there, they're unassuming, and they don't get a lot of fanfare because you just look at the guy's scores. But yes, they've done a nice job of blocking down there.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Talk to you a little bit of Micah Thomas as a young guy getting in there the first time, and the first game he didn't have that many tackles. I don't remember how many it was exactly, but 9 this past week, and I'm guessing that he got better.
Yeah, he'll get better every week that he plays. So
right.
Yeah, we're excited. We got a nice little rotation right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tyler Goebel, that was my next guy I was going to ask you. He's been impressive the first 2 weeks, and
yeah,
he had the big pick. Kind of talk about
great.
Tyler's.
Yeah, no, especially the first this game we wanted to have a rotation because we thought there would be more high tempo, not really get a chance to rest, get worn out. So we practiced 3 guys, and we didn't count on having to go with that rotation. But when you lose a guy, that gets ejected, Tyler stepped in, and we didn't really skip a beat. So that was pleasing.
Going back to Micah real quick, just what does he bring to the table? I mean, he's a kind of a big physical guy. What do you like about Micah and what he does?
You know, he's got all the tools. He's big. He's physical. He's just young. Needs to learn how to play faster. But he's very intelligent. He's got a huge upside.
Right.
Huge upside.
You saw the tape. Did you feel that the targeting call was warranted?
Yeah, you couldn't really tell from our film, but I was in the box, and on the TV copy, it probably was. Yeah.
Right. I mean, obviously unintentional.
Yeah. It was just he was going for the ball, and they head-to-head contact, but that's a penalty. So.
Right. Now, does that mean that he has to sit out a half? How does
no,
that?
No, it was in the first half, so he's
right.
ready to go.
Because if it happens in the second half of one game, then you have to sit out the first of the next, correct?
Yes.
Right. So you were talking about the rotation. Are you using all of them at every spot, or is Goebel basically
plays both, Micah plays Mike, Gonzalez plays Sam.
Right, so Gonzalez and Thomas don't flip-flop. It's Goebel that's the...
He goes both, yeah.
And does that speak volumes about his ability? I mean, I know it's not that dramatically different position.
It's just, I mean, he's a senior. It's easier for him to kind of go back and forth than the other guys are. I mean, Daniel could play Mike. He played it all year last year, but we haven't needed to do that. The way it works out, if Daniel, we want him to play Sam, and then if Mike has to come out, Goebel can go in, and vice versa. I don't want to be in a situation where Micah has to play Sam or something.
Right, gotcha. All right, great. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good to see you. Talking to Coach Johns just now about the fact that you're relatively new to the position. Kind of talk about how you're evolving so far.
I think it's coming along pretty good. My teammates are helping me out. Everybody's, kind of encouraging me, knowing that I'm a young guy on the defense. But I think it's coming along pretty well. Things are starting to slow down game by game. Just getting my reads down and just playing for my teammates.
Well, that's what I was saying. I mean, that first game was probably just huge as far as really getting a feel for things. So I thought you played a little bit better in this past game. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir. They always say the biggest improvement is between the first and second game. So I worked really hard through the bye week and through the ECU week, and I think I did have a better week, but I can always improve.
So is the toughest thing just knowing, trusting your eyes and knowing what to do, because you can't hesitate out there especially in your position inside.
Yes, sir. It is hard, especially being young. I mean, sometimes I do hesitate. I don't trust my reads. I don't trust my eyes, but that's going to come with experience. I hope. I've been working on it in practice, just running hard, getting downhill, reading my guards really good. So it's something you got to learn, but I'm trying to get better at it.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
About his Dyson Roman.
Yes,
I thought he really stepped up on Saturday.
Yes, sir. He did a good job. I mean, he's a good player. I expect a lot out of him. So it doesn't surprise me if he plays really good. It doesn't surprise me. I'd have been shocked if he didn't play well. I think he's a good runner. He's a good blocker. He does a lot of things for us. So I've been pleased with him.
Well, there's like a very noticeable his explosion. I mean, when he hits that hole, it's quite noticeable. He's quicker than some of these other slots. I mean, he really, especially on that long run to the right side, he shot through that hole, and it was quite obvious it was Dyson because of his speed. Can you talk about that?
He's got a burst. I keep waiting for him to really break one. I told him he's got to quit getting tackled. But no, he can run. He's got a burst, explosive, practices hard. So he does all the things that you want him to do. Those other guys, they got a good group. Of good synergy. They all push each other. They tease each other if they get tackled. They get on each other if they miss blocks. So they push each other. I'm on them. They're on themselves too. So we got a good group going.
Well, you talked about Dyson. I mean, part of his problem is being able to stay on the field. He's been nicked up here and there, but is that kind of the key for him? And now that he's healthy, he can really show what he's got?
I think early on he wasn't playing fast enough because he didn't have a true understanding of what was going on. Which anywhere, if you don't know what to do, you kind of, if you're thinking all the time, you can't play.
Right.
I don't care what position or what sport, you can't play if you're thinking all the time. So it took him, about a year to figure that out, and then he started playing faster, and then he's kind of been banged up, but now he knows what to do, and I'm hoping he just keeps getting better and better and better. So we just got to keep going, keep giving him the ball, and the other guys got to do a good job blocking, and then. Sometimes his number's not called depending on, how the defense lines up, and he's got to do a good job blocking. So he's done a good job of that too.
What prompted you to put him back on the kickoff return?
We dropped a couple balls in the first game, so he was the next guy up. We put him in. He did a good job. You know, still ain't getting up on Demond. Demond's going to be back there at some point, you know, catching kicks. But I think he's done a good job, you know, catching the ball. Just gave him a shot, and we'll see how it goes.
Speaking of Demond, he got honorable mention player of the game offensive because of his blocking. I thought a couple of your slots really delivered some great blocks.
Demond's played a lot of football here. I think that was as good I mean, he as unselfish a game as I mean, he's ever played, or any of my guys. I mean, he played a lot of plays. He didn't get a carry, nor did he get a catch, and he was very, very instrumental in the win. I mean, we rushed for a lot of yards. We had a lot of big plays, and he was a big part of all of it. I mean, so
he got some guys to the ground,
he
didn't he?
He did. He really blocked well. And then just his demeanor. I mean, he's a senior. He's a really good player. He could want the ball and pout and whine that he's not getting it, and he's not. It just so happened in that game he was on the wrong side when the ball was getting pitched, and he had to be the block guy, and he did a good job with it. So, you know, I keep telling him his time is going to come. I mean, he's going to I'm convinced the harder you work and the more time you put into it, and the more you bust your butt and do that kind of stuff, something good's going to happen to you. You know,
right.
So he's going to have a big game, and it's going to be because he's put in all this work, you know, and paid his dues and that kind of stuff. So, you know, if he's in, he gets the ball, he's going to be good with the ball in his hand. If he's not, you know, he's proven he could be a good blocker.
Right.
So, and he's going to play a lot of football for us. So I'm counting on him a lot. You know, he's the leader of the group. Him and Brandon, you know, being the seniors, and both really quiet. I wish they talked more, but they don't. But they're doing a great job leading by example. So I mean, that sets a good message. Here's the guy's a senior, you know, busting his butt, keeping his mouth shut, and wants to win, you know, in the worst way. So that's all we want, you know. We all want the same thing. So the more we can, you know, play like he plays, the better we'll be.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Danny.